Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Koupe. I'm back to break down the exact build I was running in last Friday's competitive matches and trials card. This setup is all about stacking damage sources, and it had me shredding through fights all evening long. The guy in this clip got one bursted, and I don't know exactly what happened, but Temporal Blast 4x was up before the fight alongside Bolt Charge, and it hit one body for 27, two crits for 37 apiece, and bolt charge for 152. That's a whopping 253 damage in one burst. Let's take a look at the setup so you can try it yourself. The main weapon is a 390 RPM pulse rifle called Last Thursday. Mine came with moving target and rapid hit. I tried them both. I like moving target better. But the star of the show is elemental honing. It grants weapon damage by inflicting unique elemental damage. This is significant because this strand pulse rifle will always self-proc elemental honing 1x by simply causing damage with the weapon. It's great, especially when leveraging the origin trait and bolt charge for chip damage. The secondary weapon that I'm using is the Precipial shotgun from Caldera. It's a really good shotgun that's from this season that can roll assault mag or accurize rounds with threat detector or opening shot. And the best part is it's from this season. So you'll take full advantage of the score modifiers and achieve good loot at the end of activities just for using items from this current season. It also has the exhaustive research origin trait, so you'll get micro missiles for additional damage if you get stuck in a bad position and have to ADS with your shoddy for a long time. My heavy weapon is the Unwavering Duty with dynamic sway reduction and killing tally, but you can choose whatever you want to use in the secondary slot and the heavy slot. On my helmet, I'm using an Intellect font for the boost to my Intellect stat whenever I pick up an Orb of Power. Same for the gauntlets. I'm using a melee font for the boost to my melee stat when I pick up an Orb of Power. The chest piece is where the magic comes in, the Crest of Alpha Lupi. I use it to heal myself and my teammates. If you peek a lane and you take a ton of damage, retreat. Pop the barricade and then retreat some more. You never know when you're getting pushed until you're getting pushed. If your teammate peeks a lane and he gets torched, heal them and then cover the push from the barricade. And for the legs, anything goes. Be sure to run at least one mobility mod in PvP. I use this same arc mod to set up with Crest of Alpha Lupi in PvE, and I just heal my friends and teammates using a bunch of, I don't know, healing mods like Absolution, Restoration, Better Already, because it's PvE. Like, harder content, you're getting dunked on by minus 50 deltas. For the class item, run the Reaper mod and Time Dilation to make the Intellect and Melee fonts last longer. Let's take a look at our stat distribution. The health stat should be 150 or better. It feels great having some recovery and being able to get into a fight and actually having health regenerate in a reasonable amount of time. Your class ability is the second most important for this build and should be 100 or as close to it as possible. And your intellect should be 100 or as close to it as possible, because the game feels terrible when you're not getting supers, right? You're playing comp and you're getting down to the wire and the score is 30 to 28 or something like that, real neck and neck, and then they get supers, boom, they win. No. Run 100 supers so you actually get your super. As far as the subclass, we need Stormskeep. Stormskeep is what gives our barricades the ability to make our bolt charge ready. Knockout, excellent. Chef's kiss. Who wouldn't like putting 5 fingers in someone's face and then getting rewarded for it with a fat chunk of health regeneration, arc damage to your melee? Like, it's great. Spark of Ions, once again, I use this in PvE. That gives Jolt. Spark of Frequency, I use this in PvE. It gives my melees extra abilities. Spark of Resistance while surrounded, once again, I get into a lot of shotgun fights and I use it in PvE. It's good everywhere. And Spark of Ions, Bolt Charge can apply Jolt, and sometimes you get a kill and you get an Ion Trace, which gives you elemental stuff in your artifact. So yeah, a little chunk of cooldown. Alright, so before we move to the gameplay, let's talk about farming the Last Thursday Pulse Rifle and Precipial Shotgun efficiently. First thing, go to the portal and access the Kepler map. Then travel to Caldera. Once in Caldera, you'll be presented with the Altar of Relativity. It's that altar on your left. Walk over to the altar, open it up, And inside, you'll see the option to focus weapons. It's going to be the purple one to your left. Attunement. Click that. In this menu, you can choose to focus any of the Kepler gear. We're going to focus on Last Thursday because we want one with elemental honing, and the Precipial shotgun because it's an absolutely disgusting shotgun this season. After focusing a weapon, open your menu and navigate the map to the left side. These two nodes are weekly missions. These weekly missions will drop high tier gear. That's how I got my tier 5 last Thursday, and that's how I got my tier 5 Precipial shotgun. And that's pretty much the build. I've been running this core setup since around season 15, season 17, somewhere in that neck of the woods, right? Just with Storm's Keep added in. While this match plays out, I want to talk a little bit about the Crucible, where it's at right now, how y'all feeling about the game and the armor grind, just all of it from front to back. For me personally, it feels like your success in the Crucible is just way too tied to gear progression. I tested high weapon stat when I had like tier 2 and 3 armor, and it felt terrible. But if I could hit something like 100 health with 200 weapons and 100 class ability right now with all the tier 5 stuff I got, man, that would be absolute chaos. Can you imagine something like a Yorum's Claw with Golden Tricorn that can self-proc Radiant, 2 burst from neutral? It has Bolt Charge on top, adding in some chip damage. Jeez Louise, that would be nasty. But I don't know, man. In its current state, I feel like 200 weapons is a dump stat. I feel like weapons, period, is a dump stat. It just doesn't feel worth it. But once again, right, I am basing my feelings on absolute garbage gear. So if anyone out there is running high weapon stat and you're loving it, let me know, dude. I know Sightline Survey now takes like 180 weapon stat or something like that, and it's still 3 taps. But yeah, I'm not seeing them as much anymore, you know? I don't know if it's because people just don't want to grind the armor to get the weapon stat that high, or if the trade-offs just aren't worth it. I don't know. Let me know. And while we're theory crafting builds, dude, there's been some insane setups I came across in Trials this weekend. I didn't play very much. I ran 1 card, maybe like, I don't know, 8 to 10 matches. But, dude, hunters are having a blast right now. Oris neutralizer, the Trials shotgun hand cannon thing with the hunter throwing knife. Oh my god, bro. I got some disgusting rolls on that shotgun hand cannon too, so I want to give that a try. Right? There's a one-shot Titan build, melee build or whatever. You get 200 melee with Banner of War and a glaive, and you can just one-tap people in PvP. I saw some people trying to do that in a control match, and it was not working out for them. You know, I just felt like Bannerfall, my boy, and you're trying to glaive melee people on Bannerfall, like quite literally the 2nd largest map in the game. I think Multiplex is the only larger map. Could be wrong about that, but who cares? It's a large map. You don't run at people with a glaive in Bannerfall. It's just not going to work, right? What else is really strong right now? Bakris Hunter. Went up against a guy that was running Arc Strider with the Bakris mask, and he was spamming dodges like crazy. Had his grenade up, melee up, the Bakris damage buff up. He was using Wicked Implement. That joint slows. He also had an Aikilos SMG, and it melted, dude. It absolutely shredded. All I could think while I was playing against this guy was like, oh my god, can you imagine how crazy this would go if he had like a decent forgiveness? He probably does by now, but I should probably get on my hunter and try that out, right? There's a warlock build which relies on high class ability. I don't know if the guy was running prismatic or if he was running void, but at any rate he was running blink with Child of the Old Gods. And this man would stand in a rift. He would play his life as the best he can, get some chip damage. When the child flies out and goes to you, the second that it like hits and starts doing damage, and he thinks that you turned around to shoot the child, he would just blink and full send you, dude. It was like, geez Louise, it was pretty cool. it's pretty neat to see like people play weird builds outside the box, and he was definitely doing his thing, dude. Because every time he would full send me, it was like a 50-50 fight. I would pull out shotgun, and sometimes he'd get me because I was weak from the initial chip damage, and I'm weak from Child's keeping me weak, and I have a debuff on me, and then sometimes he would just full send me, and I would just put the shotgun all in his life. But there's some cool builds out there, dude. So if you're playing just one class and you see, oh, Titan one tap build, and it's like, oh well, Titans are broken. Oh, Hunter one tap build. Oh well, Hunters are broken. Warlock, Child of the Old Gods, one tap build. Well, Warlocks, don't fall into the trap of class envy, man. The grass is green where you water it. All these builds are crazy strong. All these classes have their own particular thing that make them just absolutely broken, right? Like the Hunter kit is the most broken. Like there's no one that can refute that. Between the one-shot throwing knife, let's not even get into it. But yeah, but that's not to say that Warlock and Titan is bad or they don't have their disgustingly broken and strong things about them. So you know what I mean? You just gotta play your game. If you don't want to play with the cheesy stuff, you want to play off meta and all that type of stuff, do your thing. Have your fun. But yeah, the last feeler I want to throw out there is how you guys feel about the actual build crafting potential being locked behind the power level grind, because that's how it feels. It feels like you can't really do much or enjoy the game the way they intended unless you put an insane amount of time into grinding for high level loot. Just getting your light level up so that you can get the high tier loot. Because me personally, I had to dedicate a couple hours last Sunday, and I grinded up from around 350-ish to 400 in one Sunday evening, and I was totally wiped, dude. It was the most depressing thing I've done in a long time. But once I'm there, now I can just play the game like I normally play, right? You just one and done. Not looking forward to doing it again in like another 5 months or whatever the time schedule is. But yeah. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How you feeling about the current state of the game? What builds are you finding fun, interesting, or just flat out broken? Drop a comment down below and let's talk about it. In the meantime, sit back, let's enjoy this gameplay, and I appreciate you guys watching. Catch you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, the whole shebang and bang. See you later, Guardians. Peace.
That's a power play. You took them. Now hold. Give the Redjacks a lesson in territory control.